Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel today. Today we're here to talk about the new record from Mastodon. It is titled Emperor of Sand. This is the band's 7th studio record and follow-up to 2014's Once More Round the Sun. Now, Mastodon have always experimented with progressive elements all the way throughout their career, and they're one of the best bands on the planet at the moment. And while they're more known for just their straight-up metal greatness, their progressive elements have always been something that's intrigued me a lot. And so hearing that they were going back to Brendan O'Brien, who produced their record Crack the Sky, I was really excited to hear how this record was going to sound. And my god, this record does not disappoint. This is a brilliant record from Mastodon, their best in a little while, and there is just so much variation within this record, not just track to track, but within the sections of the songs. It's probably one of the most experimental records that I've heard this year, and I absolutely love it. So let's get into it. The first thing that I really have to say about this record is just the amount of monumental riffs that go all the way throughout it. There are so many different riffs within different songs, and so many just variants of different riffs within each song that just all hit so hard. You listen to a song like Precious Stones, which towards the back end of it just opens up and just allows riff after riff after riff to just get thrown at you, and it just, every single one works. And you just have to sit there and think, how the fuck do they keep coming up with these riffs, and how does each one just get better and better? But it doesn't matter how good the riff is, if there's vocals going over the top of it and they clash, it's gonna sound bad. But luckily for this record, the vocals and the riffs going on behind the vocals work together perfectly. The riffs that are behind vocals, when vocals are there, really allow room for those melodies to come through. Steam Breather is a good example of this, especially in the verses, if you want to check that one out. There's just so much technicality within that song, guitar-wise, but it still allows room for those vocals to come through. Now, I wouldn't consider this a progressive record. I think there's a lot of progressive elements in the record, but that core metal sound that Mastodon have always had is still there. You get more prog-driven tracks like Jaguar God, which just have so much experimentation in there and are true journeys of songs, but then you get more heavy rock-driven tracks like Show Yourself, which are just so catchy, but have that heavy metal influence in there that we love from Mastodon. But then we get more heavy songs like Sultan's Curse, which just add that aggression into that record, which is something that I've always loved from Mastodon. The prog elements are here to put a new flavor into this record rather than drive the whole record along. I've always loved the core metal sound that Mastodon have had. I did love Crack the Sky, where they went more progressive, but I feel like this is a better representation of Mastodon with prog elements thrown in. Another thing that's great about this record is the songwriting skill, especially in the structuring. There are more conventionally structured songs like Show Yourself and Sultan's Curse, which are pretty straight up heavy metal songs, but are used to great effect. And then you get more unconventionally structured songs like Roots Remain and Ancient Kingdom that just take you on this journey that you're not expecting to go on. For the first half of those songs, you feel like you know where it's going, and then it just takes a complete left turn and goes somewhere else. The structuring to this record is just so unconventional, and when these songs go on those left turns, it works to great effect. And I can just see people, listening to this record, hearing those left turns and going, oh, I really like this is different. Another element to the songwriting which is done really well is the use of melody throughout this record. There are, again, those more conventional, catchy melodies like in Show Yourself, as I've mentioned multiple times, and Precious Stones, but there are also these melodies that when they go proggy, they just kind of sit there and allow those sections to breathe, like in a song kind of like Jaguar God. And you can't talk about melody without talking about the thing that drives those melodies along, and that is the vocals. The vocals are done so well on this record, and so much variation in them. For those of you who don't know, there are multiple vocalists in Mastodon. I think basically everybody in the band sings at some point, but just having those different voices to flavor this record with different emotions at different times is just something very unique to Mastodon that not a lot of other bands can do or would even try. I've mentioned this song a lot, but you get cleaner vocals on songs like Show Yourself and Precious Stones, but then you get those angry, aggressive vocals on songs like Scorpion's Breath, and just those two variations throughout this record are done really, really well. There are other vocalists on this album as well who are used to great effect, but those two vocalists on those three songs are the ones that really stick out to me. The musicianship on this record is also second to none. Every member of this band is a master of their instrument, and they know how to write songs that not only just sound great, but subtly show off just what good musicians they are. Every element of this record gets its own individual opportunity to shine, and whenever a member of this band gets that opportunity, they absolutely run with it. The drums sound amazing on songs like Precious Stones and Word to the Wise, and then the guitar sound absolutely massive on songs like Steam Breather and Sultan's Curse. And I mean, we've already talked about the vocals. The vocals are exceptional on every single track. The highlight of this record for me though is Roots Remain. It really shows off that core metal sound that Mastodon are brilliant at, with that added progressive flavor, and it's truly a masterpiece of songwriting. The first half of Roots Remain is just a straight up metal track with big guitars, big drums, heavy vocals, but then about halfway through, you start hearing these Steven Wilson-esque proggy guitars coming in and really take over the song and drive it to its finale. I also love the added orchestration in this song. It really adds a lot to the song's mood, and if that orchestration wasn't there, I don't think those sections would have been as effective. There's also an incredible guitar solo towards the end of the track, which really elevates the entire song and is just something awesome. There are so many great guitar solos all the way throughout this record. They're mostly on the first half of the record, but in Roots Remain, I think that's its absolute peak. But the element that could have broken this record completely is, of course, the production. And for me, I think the production has been done perfectly. I think the band going back to Brendan O'Brien was the perfect choice. He worked on Crack the Sky with them, and considering they wanted to bring those progressive elements back, I think there was no better guy to go and work with. Everything sounds natural and raw and in your face and just massive. And yeah, sometimes the vocals are a little bit too low in the mix for my liking, but I could see what they were going for. But other than those couple of times here and there where the vocals just aren't quite loud enough for me, I think it's done to perfection. Overall, this is a brilliant record from Mastodon and really shows off why they are one of the best bands on the planet. There are so many experiments on this record that just work perfectly, but more than that, the songwriting is just impeccable. All these songs have been written so well, and this record just smashes you in the face. My top 3 tracks are going to be Roots Remain, Show Yourself, and Ancient Kingdom, and I'm going to give this record a 4.5 out of 5. Anyway, what did you guys think about the record? Let me know your thoughts and opinions down below in the comment section. Did you like the record? Did you not like the record? Let me know down below. We're here to have a conversation about music, so let's do that. But if you're just going to fill up the comment section with hate and insults, just know I'm going to read your comments and laugh at how pathetic your life is. Anyway, thanks for watching my video today, guys. Please hit subscribe down below, and I will see you next time. Fresh Currents.